Take a deep breath. Imagine a world where every single person cared for their mind as much as they care for their body. That's the vision behind this channel. By simply subscribing, sharing, and leaving a like, you're not only supporting us, you're helping to create ripples of change that may reach someone who truly needs it. Mental health is not just personal, it's collective. Together, we can make awareness spread faster than silence. So if this message resonates with you, join us now, and let's build this movement side by side. Asterisk, have you ever wondered if the very routines you cling to for stability are silently feeding the chaos within your mind? What if the path to clarity has never been about adding more, but about noticing the almost invisible rhythms hidden in your days? And what if the habits capable of reshaping your inner world have been disguised as the most ordinary, overlooked gestures? There is a weight in the silence between these questions, a weight you cannot shake off unless you uncover what lies beneath them. They told you that healing begins with great effort, that transformation requires monumental sacrifice, that only the extraordinary could save you from the ordinary. But what if the truth is inverted? What if the smallest, quietest, almost imperceptible shifts hold more power than the grand revolutions you've been taught to chase? Imagine discovering that the rituals you ignored, the pauses you dismissed, the whispers you silenced have always been the keys you were desperately searching for. Your mind is not a battlefield to be conquered, but a labyrinth to be walked with care. And yet, how often do you treat it as an enemy, demanding it perform, discipline itself, bend to your will? Every thought you repress, every emotion you suffocate, builds walls inside you. But somewhere behind those walls, in places you rarely allow yourself to enter, are the hidden habits that do not just heal, they transform. Are you prepared to follow where they lead, even if the path feels unsettling? There is a reason you are here, listening, caught between curiosity and resistance. A part of you suspects that the life you are living is not the life you were meant to sustain. That beneath the routine smiles, beneath the silent exhaustion, there is a truth your soul has been begging you to uncover. This is not about tips or tricks, not about productivity hacks or shallow advice. This is about habits that touch the very structure of your being, habits that quietly bend the direction of your thoughts, your emotions, your existence, and so the question lingers. If you knew that just a handful of hidden, everyday habits could slowly rewrite the way your mind breathes, would you dare to uncover them? Because once you hear them, you will never be able to unhear them. Once you see them, you will never move through your days the same way again. The only real choice now is whether you will look away or whether you will allow yourself to step through the door that has always been waiting. Asterisk. The hidden cost of neglecting your mind every day. We obsess over our bodies, our work, and the endless to-do lists, yet we quietly abandon the very engine that sustains it all, our mind. Mental health is not a luxury. It is survival. And when ignored, the cracks do not appear suddenly, but subtly. Like whispers you choose not to hear, it begins with small things. The sigh that lingers longer than usual. The tiredness you blame. On lack of sleep, the irritability that feels like just a bad day. But left unattended, these fragments accumulate until they shape a version of you that no longer feels like you. Our culture praises resilience, but often confuses it with self-abandonment. To push through has become a badge of honor, when, in truth, it can be a quiet surrender to decay. The strongest step you can take is not always forward, sometimes it is inward, by refusing to pause. By neglecting daily habits that nourish your mental state, you pay with clarity with relationships. With joy, the invisible toll compounds like interest in a debt you never meant to create. And here lies the first truth. If you do not care for your mental health daily, it will cost you far more tomorrow than it ever would today. Asterisk, the hidden power of small rituals. It's easy to believe that mental health requires grand gestures, therapy sessions, retreats, or major lifestyle changes. While these are valuable, the truth is far simpler. Your everyday rituals carry immense weight. It's the way you start your morning, the tone you set before sleep, even the pauses you take between tasks. These micro-habits shape the rhythm of your mind. Think of rituals as anchors in a storm. When life feels overwhelming, it's not always the big decisions that keep you steady, but the tiny, consistent actions that ground you. A warm cup of tea, 5 minutes of intentional breathing, or jotting down a single grateful thought. These aren't trivial. They're signals to your brain that you are safe, present, and in control. Neuroscience confirms this. The brain thrives on patterns. When you repeat a calming ritual, your nervous system learns to predict safety in that moment. Over time, the ritual becomes more than a habit, it's a doorway to stability. A reminder that serenity is always accessible, even in chaos. These small rituals are not about perfection, but presence. They remind you that caring for your mind doesn't always mean stopping the world. It can mean finding stillness within it. That stillness, repeated daily, becomes strength. What's one tiny ritual you can add to your day today? Share it in the comments. Your idea might be the anchor someone else needs. Asterisk, small shifts. Big results. Sometimes the smallest choices shape the biggest transformations. Choosing to take the stairs instead of the elevator, stepping outside for just 5 minutes of sunlight, or pausing to stretch during a busy day might seem insignificant. Yet, these little shifts signal to your brain and body that you care for them, creating a cascade of positive reinforcement. Every small win adds up. Science shows that even micro habits like mindful breathing or a quick gratitude jot in your notebook can alter brain chemistry, reducing stress and improving emotional resilience. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight. Nervous system thrives on consistency, not intensity. Think of your day as a canvas. Each tiny habit is a brushstroke, slowly painting a healthier, more vibrant picture of your life. When you choose presence over autopilot, you claim ownership of your mind's direction. The beauty lies in momentum. One small action makes the next easier, until what once felt impossible becomes second nature. That's how real transformation sneaks in quietly, habit by habit, choice by choice. What's one tiny habit you can start today that might seem trivial, but in the long run could shift your entire mental landscape? Share it in the comments. Asterisk, the stories we tell ourselves inside your mind lives a storyteller. Every day, it weaves explanations. Why you didn't finish that project, why someone looked at you a certain way, why you'll never be enough, or why you are capable of so much more. These stories don't just describe reality, they create it. Your brain, wired for patterns, often mistakes repetition for truth. But here's the secret. You are not bound to the first draft. Neuroplasticity shows us that the brain rewires itself in response to repeated thoughts. When you consistently shift the script from, "I always fail" to, "I'm still learning," your neurons begin to fire along a new pathway. Slowly, belief becomes biology. Think about how a child learns. They stumble, fall, try again. They don't tell themselves they're failures. They keep experimenting until walking is natural. Somewhere along the way, many of us forget this freedom and let fear write the story. But you can reclaim the pen. Ask yourself, what narrative am I repeating that keeps me small? And what new story could I begin whispering into my mind until it becomes the soundtrack of my life? The brain doesn't need drama, it just needs repetition. If you could rewrite one inner story starting today, what would its first line be? Leave it in the comments. You might inspire someone else to rewrite theirs too. The power of saying no. One of the most overlooked habits for mental health is the ability to say no. Many people overcommit to work, relationships, or social obligations only to feel drained and resentful. Setting boundaries is not selfish, it's essential. Every yes you give to something that doesn't serve you is a silent no to your own well-being. Learning to say no creates space for rest, reflection, and activities that genuinely bring you joy. At first, it might feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to people-pleasing. But with practice, it becomes a shield against unnecessary stress and burnout. Remember, clear and honest no is better than a forced yes. By protecting your energy, you protect your peace of mind. Over time, those around you will learn to respect your limits, and you'll feel lighter, freer, and more in control. If you've ever struggled with saying no, share your story. In the comments, someone else might find strength in your journey. Asterisk, disconnect, to reconnect in a world that never stops. Your mind also struggles to rest. Notifications, endless scrolling, and constant exposure to information overload your brain and leave you mentally exhausted. Sometimes the most powerful act of self-care is as simple as turning off your phone for a few hours. Taking a digital detox allows your nervous system to calm down. Instead of being bombarded by screens, you can reconnect with your own thoughts. Enjoy the silence or simply observe the world around you. These small pauses act like a reset button for your mental health. Studies show that reducing screen time, especially before bed, improves sleep, reduces anxiety, and enhances focus. It's not about abandoning technology, it's about using it consciously, instead of letting it control you. Give yourself permission to disconnect, even if it's just 30 minutes a day. In that space of silence, you may find clarity, creativity, and a deeper sense of peace. Would you be able to stay a full day without your phone? Comment below. I want to know who dares to try. Asterisk, the power of sleep. Your brain is like a garden. Every thought, every memory, every lesson you learn during the day is a seed planted in the soil of your mind. But without proper sleep, those seeds cannot grow. Sleep is not just restits when your brain consolidates memories, heals itself, and recharges your emotional balance. When you cut your sleep short, it's like ripping out those seeds before they can sprout. You may notice more irritability, less focus, and even a weaker immune system. Over time, chronic lack of sleep doesn't just make you tired, it reshapes your brain's ability to process emotions and decisions, prioritizing. Sleep is not a luxury, it's a necessity for your mental health. A calm, dark room, a regular schedule, and limiting screens before bedtime are simple yet powerful ways to improve the quality of your rest. Think of sleep as the most natural therapy your body gives you every night. It is your mind's silent Dr. Elton, what the day has broken and preparing you for what comes next. Tell me, are you protecting your nights or sacrificing them for things that can wait? Comment your answer. I want to hear your truth. Asterisk, nutrition and your mind. What you put on your plate doesn't just shape your body, shapes your brain. Every bite sends signals that either fuel clarity and balance or feed stress and confusion. Your brain is a hungry organ, using about 20% of your daily energy. If you feed it junk, it will respond with fog, irritability, fatigue. Foods rich in omega-3 south, like fish and nuts, act as natural protectors, strengthening brain cells. Leafy greens and colorful vegetables fight off the inflammation that silently weakens your mind. So even something as simple as drinking enough water can lift your focus and mood. On the other hand, processed foods high in sugar and artificial additives hijack your brain chemistry. They give you quick highs, but then crash your energy and emotions. Over time, they create cycles of anxiety and low motivation that feel hard to escape. Eating with awareness is an act of self-respect. Each meal is a chance to choose whether you will nurture your mental clarity or cloud it. When you see food as information for your brain, not just fuel for your body, your entire relationship with eating transforms. Asterisk, and you. When you feel anxious, do you turn to food or choose something that truly strengthens your mind? Comment below. Your answer might inspire someone else. Asterisk, the eternal echo of desire. There comes a moment when silence speaks louder than words, when the breath between two souls carries more weight than any confession. Desire, in its raw form, is not merely physical. It is the echo of an ancient memory, a magnetic pull that transcends time. What you feel is not just attraction. It is recognition, the whisper of something that has always been and will always remain in the stillness of night. When the world sleeps and only the beating of hearts can be heard, desire sharpens its edge. It is not a fleeting impulse, but a flame that refuses to die even when hidden under layers of fear and hesitation. Every glance, every subtle gesture becomes a sacred ritual. It's an unspoken prayer to the force that binds two beings together. And so you begin to realize what you seek outside already exists within. Desire is not just directed at another writ, is the mirror of your own forgotten power, your unclaimed freedom, your hidden hunger for life itself. To feel deeply is to awaken the sleeping parts of your soul, to allow yourself to burn without apology. This fire, if embraced, can destroy illusions and rebuild truth. It will not always be gentle. It will test you, strip you bare, confront you with your deepest shadows. Yet, in surrendering to it, you will uncover a strength that was never lost. It's only waiting to be remembered. Let this echo of desire guide you not into chaos, but into clarity, not into possession, but into liberation. For love, when intertwined with the purity of awakened desire, ceases to be a chain and becomes a set of wings. And with those wings, you'll not only touch another soul, you'll touch eternity itself. Asterisk the final resonance, awakening the hidden self in the quiet corners of your mind. Where thoughts dare not wander, a new clarity begins to stir. It whispers that the chaos you once feared is merely the prelude to your awakening, that every struggle, every fracture, has shaped the mosaic of who you are meant to become. Can you hear it? The subtle hum that promises revelation, if only you lean closer and listen without resistance. Every heartbeat carries a message you have long ignored, a secret encoded in rhythm and pause. It tells you that surrender is not defeat but a form of alchemy, turning fear into insight, pain into wisdom. The echoes of your past, once heavy and suffocating, now illuminate the path ahead, revealing patterns invisible to the untrained eye. What you thought was loss is transformation. What you thought was silence is guidance. The world may continue its relentless clamor. Yet within you lies a sanctuary of understanding, a chamber where the truth of your existence vibrates in perfect resonance. Can you feel it pulsing, calling you to awaken? There is a power in acceptance, a liberation in recognizing that every shadow you carry is also a source of light. Each hidden fragment of your being, every suppressed desire, every whispered fear, contributes to a symphony uniquely yours. To deny it is to remain deaf to the music of your soul. And now, as the fog lifts, you glimpse a horizon unbounded by old limitations. Sustainability, balance, and intention are not merely concepts. They are the instruments through which your inner harmony is played. To nurture yourself is to nurture the world, and in this reciprocity, a profound peace emerges. The truths you have discovered do not arrive all at once. They spiral, return, and deepen with every reflection, each encounter, each silent meditation. The more you explore, the more you uncover hidden layers of your psyche. And the more you realize that awakening is not a destination, but an eternal journey. You begin to see connections previously unseen, the intertwining of mind, body, and environment, the subtle dance between internal growth and external care. What once seemed trivial daily habits, mindful attention, sustainable choices reveals itself as the scaffolding of your new reality, strong enough to support the weight of true transformation. In the stillness, there is a choice to remain in habitual patterns or to step fully into the rhythm of conscious existence. The path is illuminated not by force, but by curiosity, by the gentle insistence of life nudging you toward what you were always capable of becoming. Can you trust it even when it asks you to let go of certainty? And so the journey culminates, not in an answer, but in awakening. You are invited to witness yourself not as a mere observer, but as an active participant in the grand unfolding of your life. Every breath becomes a declaration, every action a thread in the fabric of your awakened being. The transformation is silent, yet profound, subtle, yet irreversible. Now, with this awareness pulsing through your veins, you are called to act. Share this revelation, not for recognition, but for the possibility that another wandering soul may find the light you have uncovered. Like, comment, subscribe, and share, not as a ritual, but as an extension of your journey, because the echoes of your awakening are meant to ripple outward, touching hearts, changing lives, and building a world that vibrates in harmony with the deepest truths of existence.